Going live in a second with Emily from Finding Flow Parenting. We've just tried to do it on her Instagram and it hasn't worked quite so well. So, here she
We made
is.
it.
Way to get
Okay.
thrown in at the deep end. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah. So thanks for joining
No
me
worries.
and thanks for hosting this after my Instagram failed me. So yeah, we'll introduce ourselves and then we'll start the chat. So my name's Emily. I am a conscious parenting coach and I work with mums and dads basically to optimize their parenting, to get to a place where their parenting feels really good. And I think of it a bit like leadership coaching, because parenting is leadership. And I work a lot with parents who are reactive, basically parents who yell a lot, who wish that they didn't yell a lot, in a nutshell. So do you want to introduce yourself and what you do, and then we'll get cracking?
Yeah, of course. I'm Bex. I run a company called Strong Mums Club, which I started when I was on maternity leave with my first little one, who's now 3.5. So essentially, we do progressive strength training programming for new mums whilst they're on maternity leave, so that they can start to feel a bit more empowered, start to feel stronger, healthier, and then more confident in their postnatal bodies whilst they're on maternity leave, but then also kind of set some lifelong habits up during that period of time that they can then kind of use throughout the rest of their lives and, to assist with their parenting journey.
Yeah, I love all of that. And, one of the words that comes up a lot in the coaching is people want to feel strong. It's a kind of interesting word that comes up, that people want to feel strong, sturdy, kind of unflappable in their parenting. And I feel like there is this sort of link between feeling mentally strong, physically strong, and feeling kind of capable. And you use the word empowered there, which I think, is a big thing. We need to feel empowered as parents, because if we don't feel empowered, we feel powerless, and it doesn't feel good. So yeah, we met at a Mothers Meetings networking event, and we thought it would be cool to have a chat about the kind of intersection and these words that I've put as the title of this chat. So confident, strong, and energized. So why do you think that parenting is kind of a good opportunity to start focusing on strength training? And because in a way, perhaps it might be that, I think it's quite common, and you tell me, that because you go through this big body transformation, like birth, having a baby, and sometimes it can make people feel quite disconnected from their bodies.
Yeah.
So what would you say, why would you say this is maybe a good time to start thinking about your body and what it's capable of?
I think just in general, parenting is such a transformational time in your life because everything
Mm.
changes. The amount of time you have to dedicate to any other aspect of your life just completely disappeared,
Yeah.
as you know. And then I think you kind of get this point where you're kind of starting again almost, but with this,
Mm.
these new human beings to look after. So I think it's actually a really good time to start to implement healthier habits, to start to train more effectively. Because I
Mm.
think a lot of us, we've spent years and years doing too much cardio, doing lots of other things, and actually not really seeing any results. And that's okay when you've got you can go to the gym or go to classes for 5 hours a week. But when you can't do that, you want to make sure that
Mm.
the time you're spending is going to get you results. It's going to get you stronger. It's going to build muscle because of all the benefits that you'll get from doing that. Just go far beyond just that 20-30 minutes that you can spend doing it. I think also as parents you just need headspace, and actually
Yeah.
there's very little time that you get to yourself. So if you can make training a priority and actually get yourself to the gym, get yourself, even like me and my husband will take it in turns in the evening, half an hour here or there, And it is because we're prioritizing
Mm,
it, you just feel so much better then for the rest of the day or for that evening.
yeah.
So I think headspace, obviously health, but also it's a very good time to start. You're not just thinking about your own health anymore. You're kind of also thinking about showing your kids how a healthy life should look, how to
Hmm.
train well, how to eat well.
Yeah.
So it kind of works for everyone, really. It kind of benefits your entire family, just you putting in that time to spend on yourself.
Yeah. I love all of that. And I think one of the words that kind of comes out for me is around like feeling capable.
Yeah,
Because I think there can be a big thing in early parenthood. If you're having a hard time, you know,
yeah,
of not feeling capable, not feeling good enough. And I think that that also kind of manifests physically, because if you're giving, 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 and not prioritizing yourself and your own well-being, it's just like a pervasive sense of sort of like I'm speaking here of my own early parenting journey, sort of like failing and not being capable and not being good
yeah,
enough, right? And
100%.
I think focusing on sort of being physically capable for
Yeah,
me in my parenting journey, this was a really really big thing for me, in me feeling more strong and confident and empowered. And I just had this example I'd like to share, which is of me and my husband started in 2019 seeing a personal trainer. And I remember like I just had all of these sort of like negative beliefs about myself and exercise and what my body was capable
yeah,
of. And I remember I kind of got to the point where I was able to do 10 push-ups, and I had believed my whole life that I couldn't do push-ups, like not even one. And then it was a kind of a bit of a light bulb moment for me of like, wow, if I'm capable of doing 10 push-ups, what else am I capable
yeah,
of?
100%. Well done on 10 push-ups, by the way. That's amazing.
I'm a little bit out of it now because I was thinking about sharing this story and I've started like thinking like, oh, I need to get back to that level of strength. But yeah.
But yeah, there's something truly like you just feel so
Yeah.
accomplished. A, because you've taken the time out of what is a very busy period of your
Mm,
life to go and do it in the first place. But also you're seeing yourself, you're seeing tangible results, you're seeing the
yeah.
numbers go up,
Yeah.
you're seeing yourself get stronger, and that carries into like every other area of your life.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I could go on forever about the benefits, but
Yeah.
and from a confidence point of view, it just gives you so much confidence that you can deal with, whatever is life is going to throw at you as a parent, really.
Yeah, and I loved on your website you said something about like finding out what your postnatal body is capable of. And I
Yeah,
think that that's a really like nice way of putting it, because it is such a kind of, pregnancy and birth are these, completely different, thinking about what your body is capable of, like growing a life, creating a life, and then like afterwards this body which is never going to be the same as it was before,
yeah,
but it's a sort of growing into like, well, who am I now?
yeah.
And I think also, for people, what would you say kind of around the importance of staying strong as you go into your 40s and beyond, thinking about like for women things like perimenopause, like what would you say about that?
So from the age of 30, you kind of start to lose muscle mass quite quickly. You start to lose sort of between 3 and 8% of your total muscle mass per decade of your life.
Mm,
So anyway, the stronger you are going into that period of time, the better position you're going to be in. But then also when women when they hit menopause, they experience a huge drop in estrogen, and that further increases the rate at which they lose muscle. So they can lose about 20% of their muscle mass during menopause.
wow.
And women over 40, they also start to lose a lot of bone density as you age. So strength training, because it puts such a stress on your muscles, it encourages your muscle building cells to build more muscle and retain the muscle that you've got. So
Mm,
in terms of you're sort of preventing that muscle loss. But also it stresses your bones as well. So, but when you put stress on the bones, your body starts to build more bone cells. So your bones
Mhm.
get stronger, and it can really reduce the risk of osteoporosis. The other thing, the more muscle mass you carry, so the more muscle mass you can build, the easier it is to kind of maintain your weight long term. So
Mhm.
that obviously means that you can eat more and stay the same weight, which is always a bonus if you want
Yeah.
to live kind of a full life. But also from a health point of view, weight management, it gets harder as we age
Mm.
because we start to move less. So obviously, the more muscle mass you can build, the easier that process is going to be, as well as kind of the cardiovascular benefits that you get, preventing against diabetes and lots of health issues which get worse as we age. So it has tons of benefits, but you really want to be trying to maintain as much muscle mass as you get older
Mm.
as you can. And there's a lot out at the moment about kind of specific strength training workouts for people that have got menopause, but you don't really need to be doing that. What you really just need to be doing is focusing on challenging your body when you're training and just making
Mm.
sure that you're lifting heavy enough to actually get the results, so that you're actually building muscle and getting stronger.
Yeah. And I really notice a link for me between like exercise and particularly kind of like strength training exercise and my mental health. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah.
when we go on holiday now, my husband and I bring yoga mats with us and we do like a little bit of a workout in the morning. And I think it's just sort of the the more I prioritize exercise, the better my mental health is. And I feel like on those days when me and my husband don't do any exercise, those are the days where we feel really sluggish. And this is a question I had. So many parents come and see me. And, one of the things they say is, well, often they're really struggling with stress, which
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense if they're having conflict with their kids, things like that. And one of the things that they say is that they want to feel more energized because they constantly feel depleted, like all of the time.
Yeah.
Right. I have a lot of clients who say that they just feel like they don't have any energy. And I'm kind of asking them, well, what are you needing in order to make a change? And they're like, more energy. And sometimes it can feel, if you're not, if you don't have a kind of exercise and strength training thing in your life, that like exercise and strength stuff might be taking more energy from
Yeah.
you. But what would you say about like if a parent were coming to see you and they're saying like, I don't have any energy, what would you say to that? Like,
Energy is a weird one because you'd think that to get more energy, you just want to sit and rest and not actually do
mm,
anything. But actually, you need to use your energy to create more energy.
yeah,
So actually, if you've got people that are kind of coming in, they're feeling exhausted, using the energy you've got to then go and move your body to go and work out, yeah, as you said, like mentally, it makes a huge difference to how you feel for the rest of the day and how energized you feel. Um, so yeah, firstly, I would definitely say kind of moving your body more, even if you're just getting out for a walk. You don't have to, necessarily go to the gym. You can get the kids. You can all go outside. Eating well and hydrating is another one I'd say. A lot of parents, particularly, like we're so used to reaching for caffeine and carbohydrate or sugar as the first thing
mm,
we want to give us energy, just to give us that spike. Um, Whereas actually what we really need to be doing is kind of getting a balance of nutrients. So you're eating more protein so that your blood sugar is more stabilized throughout the day rather than just going straight for carbohydrate first thing. And then also having that coffee first thing. Yeah, it's going to give you that quick spike, but then you're going to get that kind of coffee low after. And then you're constantly chasing with carbs and coffee, you're kind of constantly chasing an energy high all day rather than kind of having
mm,
nice stabilized energy release throughout the day. So just by making sure that you're a lot more hydrated. So when I wake up first thing in the morning, I do try, I mean, I'm not perfect, but we do try and have like a glass of water first thing in the morning. And then before 9 o'clock, I try and have a pint of water as well as a coffee,
mm,
but just to make sure that I'm kind of balancing out that coffee that I'm having to kind of give me that boost that I need.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, I'm up at like 6:30, so that's not that hard to
Yeah.
drink my pint of water by 9. But you know, just making sure that you're just wary of the fact that you're not just going for sugar, you're not just going for caffeine.
Yeah.
And then sleep is another one. I think as parents, like you only get that tiny portion of your evening on your own without your children, and it's so easy to, like, you know, if you haven't been able to catch up with your friends on your phone, you'll like be on WhatsApp till you go to bed, or you know, watching TV till you go to bed. But actually, whilst parents can't really control how much sleep we get necessarily due to children waking up,
Mm.
we can control the amount of sleep we're getting when we're uninterrupted,
Yeah.
because we can make sure that kind of we're the sleep hygiene habits that we've got, kind of not looking at your phone before bed, switching, like, you know, turning down the lights, maybe having a bath. These things can kind of make sure that the time you spend in bed, you're actually asleep, in a deep sleep, and that can make
Yeah.
such a huge difference, even if it's just half an hour a night. You know,
Mm.
if I look at my phone 2 minutes before I go to bed, I know that it'll take me probably an hour to go off to sleep. Whereas
Mm.
if your phone's in a different room,
Mm.
yeah, you can go to sleep a lot more. And the other thing I'd just say is, you probably know more on this, but kind of just protecting our energy,
Yeah.
because it is so in such short
Mm.
supply, and we do so many things that don't give us energy.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of, you know, do things that we might not necessarily need to do or want to do because we just feel we should. Whereas I think
Yeah.
as a parent, you probably advise clients on this as well, but I think
Mm.
protecting your energy when you've got so little time,
Yeah.
is so important.
I've got one of my friends gave me this. It's like a print, and it's got a frog on it, and underneath it, it just says "protect your energy," and I love that. Like, I have it up on my wall because, and I think, you know, one of the things with that, and I'm talking to clients around that, is about boundaries. And I
Yeah,
think so often as a parent, it's really easy to go beyond your capacity. And so it's sort of like questions of like, what am I willing to do? And what do I have capacity to do? And basically, if you're not willing to do something and you don't have capacity to do it, then do
yeah,
not do it, or do it less frequently, or, you know, that kind of thing. And I think one of the things about being a parent, I really noticed, especially when my kids were smaller, and it's different now because my kids are 6 and 8, but when they were smaller, there was so much just like sitting around.
yeah.
And I don't really thrive when I'm just sitting around. I think I read this term, and it's called like movement hunger.
Okay,
And I really love that
I've heard
because
that
I
before.
think I have a lot of like movement hunger, and I need to move in order to feel regulated. And when I don't move enough, I get really dysregulated. And those are the times when I'm really like
Yeah,
crabby and snappy. And, you know, I think that that's a really kind of important thing is, are you moving to regulate?
yeah,
Not just are you moving to like exercise, but are you moving enough to feel well regulated? Because like, I don't think humans thrive when we are just like sat watching toddlers play,
yeah.
you know. And I've actually really enjoyed it the older my kids get. We've started doing like a on like a Saturday morning, we've started doing like our own, it's not park run, but it's like our own version of it, like family park run. And I'm really enjoying this stage of parenting where like I can exercise with my kids.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, like maybe if you could, if we kind of finish off on like, what do you think are like some beliefs that keep people stuck from not feeling physically good, not feeling physically strong, and not kind of investing in their own um, well-being when it comes to movement, strength? What do you think holds people back? And maybe like within that, what are some like good beliefs or good like motivating things that you notice in the people that come and see you?
I think, I mean, the first one is definitely time. People just don't think they have the time to be able to commit to it. And on that, I would say, you know, you don't have to be like, even as a PT now, this whole my second child is now 1, and I haven't probably worked out for more than 20-25 minutes at a time in the last year.
Mm.
And yet I'm a million times stronger than I was, you know,
Yeah.
postpartum last September. So I think it's just the belief that actually you don't need as much time. as you might think you do. But what you do need to make sure of is that you are doing something that is
mm,
effective.
mm,
You know, if you've got 20 minutes, you can do a good workout in 20 minutes, but you need to make sure that what you're doing is actually going to be enough to get you a result,
yeah,
that you're lifting heavy enough. I think the other thing is that people feel guilty. I think a lot of parents will feel guilty not prioritizing their own well-being, whereas actually what they don't, it's not just about kind of you prioritizing that for your body. It's actually for giving yourself that headspace that then
mm,
helps the rest of your family. I mean, you're
yeah,
the same probably if you've got
yeah,
movement
yeah,
hunger, but it helps the rest of your family for, you know, the rest of your day if
yeah,
you feel, if you've prioritized your own health first thing in the morning or,
yeah,
you know, during the day. And I think a lot of the mums that are coming to us are, you know, they haven't lifted weights before, they haven't felt how good it feels to
mm,
actually progress. Do you know what I mean? Because it's, you
yeah,
know, the postnatal period, you can feel a bit stagnant in some areas of your life because, you know,
yeah,
your main priority is just looking after a baby, keeping a
mm,
human being alive. You're not progressing in anything. Whereas actually, you can, if you can strength train, if you can make sure that you're getting results, you can actually see yourself getting better at something, which is
yeah,
actually, you know, for your confidence, for your well-being, that can have a huge effect.
yeah.
Sorry, someone's just switched a drill on outside.
And I really love everything you said there. And I think one of the things about the time thing is you can convince yourself you don't have enough
Yeah,
time for nearly everything,
yeah,
but it's about like what are you going to prioritize?
yeah,
And I think when you start to prioritize yourself, like as you say, that can benefit everybody in the family. And whilst I think obviously there is a need for like parents to have like alone time to go and exercise, I think also, as you've touched on, I really see the massively positive things that have come from my kids watching me exercise, because I'll do like a Joe Wicks video quite often and I'll just do it in my living room, and my 8-year-old, like, he'll come and join me
I
sometimes, and
love
he
it.
gets really he gets really into it, and I just see how it's like benefiting me, but it is benefiting the whole family
Yeah,
too.
and them
And I'm
seeing you do
giving,
that, them,
yeah,
sorry, carry
I
on.
was just going to say, like, it's giving my kids really great beliefs, I think,
Yeah,
like that they're seeing that I am prioritizing myself. I'm like, it's also like around like my values, like I'm living my values of like health
yeah,
and, feeling empowered and confident and strong, that kind of thing. And I'm like living that, and I'm demonstrating it so that he can like then take on those beliefs as he grows up and becomes an adult too.
yeah, 100%. It's about them kind of seeing you prioritize yourself against the odds. And yeah, like you said, we do all have time.
Yeah.
Not a huge amount, but you know, you can switch things around. Like I know a lot of mums postnatally, I try and get people to train during the first moment they get during that day, because
Mm,
you know, the longer the day goes on, the less time you have, the more you have to do.
yeah.
And just really doing that above all the chores, above all the personality, because once you've done it as well, you tend to do everything else a bit
Yeah.
quicker because you feel better. So I
Mm.
think you actually get time back
Yes.
because you're more in flow with the rest of your day.
Yeah. I love that. So if people want to find out more about you and what you do, what do you
um,
do? Tell them how you work and how the people can find
we
you.
If they are East London based, so we are based kind of around Victoria Park in East London, we do in-person kind of drop-in sessions in a few different locations in East London. Um, the main kind of specialist thing that I'm doing at the moment is a 12-week small group training program where women will come in with their babies. They train with us twice a week, strength training, and then they do like a 12-week program. We do nutrition, we get them set up on healthy lifestyle habits. So yeah, that's kind of our 12-week transformation program. And then if they are online, we do a similar thing, but just kind of online if they are around there. So
Yeah.
what about you? Where are you? Just for my
Yeah, so
audience.
I
So
am based in East London too. I mainly work with people online. So I see parents and also couples come and see me. And so my main thing I do is like a 12-week program, which is like a 360 of how to improve your life as a parent with tons of tools of like peaceful parenting. And my thing is like conscious parenting. So it's personal growth through parenting. And it's basically, how do you become like a calm, confident, sturdy leader in your family? So yeah, I've loved this chat. Oh, also, I was going to say, if I'm doing 2 workshops coming up, one of them is you can come with your child. They're in Chingford, and it's about like understanding your nervous system and how you can use that as a tool in your parenting and how to regulate your nervous system. And then I'm also doing one on a Saturday morning in November, which is all about parental anger. So if you are interested, you can find that on my grid. So thanks so much for having this chat with me. You can remember to share it and add me as a collaborator. That would be great. Okay, great.
Thanks very much. Nice to speak to you. Have a good rest of the day.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
How do I leave?